Oh, I'm so sick and tired of being in Atlanta. Like I was literally, I only been working 4 hours to my new job, new location, and look, check this out. Getting in my car, you know what I'm saying? If I get in my car and stuff, whoop de whoop. Must be the battery. Must be the battery. You think it's the battery? Nah. Let me show you something. Y'all ready? Y'all ready for this? Look, check this out. They took
Oh my
my
goodness.
engine.
Oh,
Oh my goodness, man.
They took the engine.
That's sad.
And it took them 4 hours to do so. I'm not even mad, bro. I'm just impressed. I'm just impressed. How you do this, bro? Like the black man just want to make it. You know what I'm saying? Like you could have just took the car and left me the engine, but you took it.
Everyone knows crime is an issue in Atlanta, but let's just take a look at the demographics here. About 48% of the population is black, but they do make up about 90% of arrests for violent crime. And if we go down here and we look at some more types of crime, like vehicle crime, well, they're over 60% of motor vehicle thefts and larceny thefts. So you're looking at over 60%, and they are also disproportionate in burglaries. So there may be an issue here.
That's just racist.
You understand how trifling and lazy you have to be to do something like this?
Extremely.
no kidding. Oh my
Extremely.
gosh. Oh my
Extremely.
gosh. Wow.
Oh no. Couldn't even knock on the door.
Jeff Bezos fired her.
Okay, she took the picture, didn't she?
Look at the tracks.
And then she gonna back up.
That's on the land. That's a
And
shame.
I have a friend that works for crime, and that's not allowed.
Amazing.
They can't even back out of a circle drive and
That's
have
a
to
shame.
drive forward.
That is a shame.
That is trifling.
When you look into the hidden rules among social classes, the ruling class considers poor people the foolish class. They made up their mind and said, these people are uncivilized savages whose intellectual capacity requires them to be exploited. And that's why they're feeding everybody Dean the Great, Adrian Broner, people twerking on top of cars, twerking at funerals, spazzing out over Knicks games. So this creates a communication barrier between the two. Why do people in our community reject knowledge?
When you look at the spending power of Black America, I think billions are spent on sneakers and just, billions are just spent on nonsense each year. And this is a yearly accumulation. So it's like Black people would just set their attention on non-materialistic things. We could probably have a Wall Street, or we could probably have an economic state where Black people can actually grow and learn. But our attention is always focused on ignorance and just self-gratifying entertainment. You know what I'm saying? That we can never just focus our attention on the priorities. You get what I'm saying?
In the word, the Lord said that you fought against wisdom, you fought against the truth, you fought against the light, and then he leaves you in your reprobate mind. And what you see is pure reprobate mind in this community. It is, it's so crazy. And listen, y'all, I love all of my melanin, but there's moments where I wish I didn't have to be associated with this community. I felt it so much in the last few weeks. And one of the ladies that I know here in Atlanta sent me this graphic. The bottom line is all of the Black women that are leading in Atlanta. They have the politicians across Atlanta. The top line are all the Black women that they're trying to get into office now. So then you would literally have all of these Black women that you see here leading Atlanta, Georgia. This is what would happen, because the first picture is the lady who's running for governor. Y'all have to understand, the Lord said that it is a curse when the children are oppressing the nation and women are leading. You literally have all these women and they're vying for these positions. Now, mind you, just about everybody in the bottom row have offices right now. They're leading, they're in charge. Yet the crime is ridiculous. The lady in the first picture is Keisha Lance Bottoms. She was the mayor of Atlanta. Crime was running rampant. It was atrocious while she was in office. Now you explain to me why, if you fail and ran away as a mayor, would anybody want to promote you to a governor? If you can't handle the city, how are you going to handle a state? It makes sense then, because they're like, we want to let the black women lead, let the black women lead. Y'all must have missed the part where the Lord says women leading like that is actually a curse. That is like, I'm not making this up. This is scripture. When children are oppressing and women are leading, that is a curse. That is not progress. I don't know why y'all think that is progress. And I know y'all like, Crystal, are you being a pick me? No, I'm telling you what the Lord says. There's nothing, the Lord will pick women that he wants them to do stuff and lead. But that is when the Lord picks somebody. That's very different than you just picking up and trying to, let black women speak, let black women lead. No, I took the black card, I incinerated it. Look, it is done. It doesn't exist. I want no parts of these people. They're evil. The reason that they're evil is exactly what I've been saying all along. All of you took your eyes off of God and put it onto ancestry and African spiritualism. Y'all brought in hoodoo and voodoo and witchcraft and all. The Lord is like, okay, this is what y'all want. Then you're going to get what you want. And understand what you want is going to give you your reprobate mind. That is why you can't even look at a situation like Carmelo and say, right is right, wrong is wrong. You can't even say that. You can't say all of these children running around the streets, jumping in cars, twerking like they don't have the good sense that God gave them. You can't even say that's wrong. I'm telling y'all, turn back to God. Any of my Georgia residents, you better not put that line of black women in charge. And you put these women up there, you have just invited Jezebel to fully take over this state.
Hey, listen, all I can say is that this is not something that's new. It's been around for a long time. We've been dealing with this for a long time. And I think we have our work cut out for us. It's not enough to say that we're not a part of them. We need to make that clear by the way we represent and way we speak up, because they're not going to speak up for us. Our actions and our character. We have to stop letting the media put us in the same category. These are not, see, this what's going on has nothing to do with skin color. This is character. This is spiritual depravity. And we need to keep it there. Because the media will try to spin it as a black thing. It's not a black thing. These are just black people who are acting stupid, and we need to keep it there. And so I don't feel have to tell anybody that I'm not one of them. If you can't tell I'm not one of them by the way I act, then I'm doing something wrong. I'm not living enough. I'm not living enough. And Sister Nanny, and when you get your turn to speak, please understand that you can say what you need to say here. Your ethnicity is irrelevant. Speak your mind, sis.
Well, I did want to follow what Crystal said. There's no consequences.
There you go.
And when there's consequences, they fall in line. I just saw a video of a young lady who lost her diploma at university because of how she acted on stage, twerking and doing flips and doing the splits. They withheld her diploma.
Good.
That's a consequence. And if there were more consequences, there would be maybe more people falling in line.
Absolutely right.
The fact that the brother came outside and they stole his motor. Like, come on, y'all stole his motor?
Oh my goodness.
But that's Atlanta for you. Like, if you're riding one of those Chevys, and it has one of the big motors in it, or the one of those Hellcats or something along those lines that had that big motor, hey, they will steal your car. And nowadays they're showing that, hey, we don't even need your car no more. We just want the motor, so we'll just take the motor.
But what concerned me, Brother Wise, is that he didn't even seem to mind. He was like justified almost, right?
He has insurance.
Because after a while, some of these people just become numb. You become numb.
Just numb and immune to the foolery.
Yes.
They know what time it is. They know what time it is down there.
I think that to a certain extent it's funny, but there are some real consequences, as Nanny says, that are coming out of this fatigue and even this Carmelo Anthony case. And that is, slowly but surely, there is a conversation about segregation that is emerging from this. People are saying that they want to separate. Now, we haven't quite gotten to the point where people are saying separate with who and where and whatever, but there is a general tiredness of wanting of not wanting to subject yourself to these people and then have to be subjected to the consequences of their activity, like this gentleman who had his motor removed. Now, I'm looking at this, and like Minister Danzel says, if you don't know that I'm not like them, well, you and I, we may know that, but people who don't know us,
That's right.
we're going to have to either do one of two things. And then I'm speaking specifically to Black people in Nanny. We are going to have to do one or two things. And that is, these people are going to have to be outright denounced, or you're going to have to go over there with them. Because this ability to, kind of ride the fence and kind of take up for this behavior in one sense, but not in that sense. Look, the society is becoming irritated.
Yeah.
Right now, they're fatigued, but if they should become irritated, at that point, irritation requires action. That
That's
means
right.
something is, but you have to stop what's bugging you.
Mm.
Fatigue, no, but irritation does. And the society is becoming irritated because we have a group of miscreants among us who, like Nanny said, for which there rarely are sufficient, even when there are consequences, there are insufficient consequences.
Right.
Nobody can discuss why they are that way, so we can make no remedy. We can't say, why is 13% of the population committing 50, 60 of the violent crimes? That's way overrepresented. Is that a cultural thing? Well, you could take care of that if that's a culture. But if you can't talk about it, you can't take care of any of it. So we're all supposed to just be subjected and just be victim to these people who, have been given all the grace by our overlords that they are the untouchables. Nobody can say anything to them. Nobody can say anything about them. That is not going to work. We saw what happened yesterday. The Prime Minister of London stepped down. Okay, this is from the will of the people was so strong that he could not maintain his seat. The will of the people in this case, if this stuff continues, and people keep seeing you little stuff like riding on their grass, and that grass looked like it had just been cut.
Yeah.
So you've got a budget where you pay somebody to cut your grass. For someone to mark it up, that impoverishes you. That means you got to pay somebody to come back and fix it. When you steal somebody's engine, do you know what that does to their insurance? I'm not going to use anybody by example. I'm not saying they look like me or sound like me or are me. But when that person moved from a blue state to a red state where they currently live, the insurance went down by like $7,000. That's what it costs to live in these places because car thefts and carjackings were so high that to insure your car to sit on the side of the street there costs $7,000 more than to park your car in your driveway somewhere else. That impoverishes people. Do you know what? If a person were able to invest $7,000 a year into their retirement, or maybe into some income generating venture like rental housing, or there are a million things that people can do for themselves if you're not impoverishing them. So between the miscreants in the government, nobody can ever get ahead. And people are getting sick of that, and they're about to become irritated. And I'll just let you all know, family, friends, loved ones, I'm going to miss you when I'm over there. Okay.
I definitely appreciate your sentiment. I think Thursday or Friday, we were talking about the pastors, and there's not enough pastors out here, speaking against this type of behavior. And lo and behold, my prayers were answered because G. Craig Lewis on Saturday,
I heard
he went off and went in. Good. Finally, you have someone who is willing to say what a lot of these folks are afraid to say, and he did it with love. He didn't do it, with vitriol. He said what needed to be said, but he said it with love.
The first thing I want to say is when I saw that car video with the engine, I thought it was Baltimore. I'm not going to lie. I have experienced
that does happen in Baltimore. It does happen.
You go into the store, you come back, and it's not there. So that's what I thought. But here's the thing. For Father's Day, I posted a picture and told everybody happy Father's Day. You would think people would just say, "Oh, it's a child and a father." No. The first thing, and it, probably because I'm conservative, was, "Oh, so you're not all black, so you can't talk about black people." That goes to the point of the mindset of not wanting to be held accountable. So, because I'm whatever racial makeup, I can't speak about what you're doing that affects everyone as a whole in America. And that is the mindset, period.
Mm.
I'm going to find a way for you to make sure that you can't correct me, whether it's via
Mm.
race, whether it's via economic status, whatever it is that I can go and do, that's what they do. And that is why you can't, that's one of the reasons why you can't say anything. But the other thing is, when you look at it, it is it is culture, right? By growing up in the household that I did grow up in, I didn't look at it by things by race. I looked at it by where people were actually from, right? So DC is a melting pot to where you could literally be in $1 million home and you go 2 blocks and boom, there's something else. Okay. So with that being said, our schools were very diverse, deep people
Mm.
from different, economic backgrounds. So when I would have issues with something, I would look at it from where somebody was from and the mindset there. But a lot of people on both sides are not in diverse areas like that, right? And especially a lot of black people. They're not living amongst white people. So they're being told what white people are, how white people are this, that, and the third. And then you have, of course, classism, right? You have the different classes of people. And to me, that is what is the actual issue here because with certain economic footing, you have different things that you're going to be involved in. You have, your children are usually, raised a certain way, things like that. I think liberalism wants you to, accept things that would normally come along with people that may not be in the best economic footing. But if you look at even the history of America, people that were poor, yes, had, some of those degenerate things, but a lot of them wanted to be decent people. Right? They wanted to get out of where they are. The people today do not want to get out of where they are. The people today do not
They love
care
it.
about whether whether they're seen a certain way, whether they don't care. It's all respectability politics. You can't tell me not to wear a bonnet, can't tell me not to go outside my pajamas, can't tell me not to do you can't tell me nothing. Okay, you can't tell me to come up out of tent. You can't tell me nothing. And that is hurting everybody, including the people that look like them. So this whole culture of uh the cars, the lady driving on the lawn, all of that is the same culture. Is the you can't tell me nothing because I said so. And that goes all the way up into politics. What Crystal put up there, that's already here in DC. We have a socialist lady that's getting ready to be, the mayor. You had Mayor Bowser. Women have been running the police department. They're running the police department into the ground. The morale is low. It's all a part of that same culture. You can't tell me anything, and I do what I want. And it's affecting everybody, every race. And the only group of people that seem to be okay with it is the group of people that aren't adding anything to society. So if you ask me, separation is going to be by values and of course by actual class, because there are some people that just don't want to recognize that this actually hurts families, this actually hurts the individuals trying to make a way. So me personally, I don't mind separating myself, which is why I say if you're in my neighborhood and you look a certain way, I am going to call the police because I have a certain class and a certain group of people that I want to protect. The people in my neighborhood are very diverse, different races, all of that. But the thing about it is we have a certain mindset. We care about each other's lawn. We care about our neighbors. We care about each other's kids. People coming in trying to do stuff, they don't care about that. And that is what I am seeing right now. That is the heart of everything that's going on. These people don't care. And that has nothing to do with race.
Separation is fine for getting away from the crazy, but we have got to, while we're separated, make sure that we're involved with politics and everything we can to destroy their ability to wreck everything. Because when you leave people like that alone, they just expand and they'll look for more territory to conquer. We have to shut these fools down.
I want to hear from you guys in the comment section. Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. Consider joining the ARP family or buy your brother a coffee. That link's in the description box below. Keep God first. Stay prayed up. We will catch up with you guys next time. Peace.
It is God who arms me with strength. Yeah, I'm battle ready. He trains my hands for battle. My heart stays steady. But thanks be to God, he gives us the victory. Through my Lord Jesus Christ, fear can't live in me. I was down to the dirt, red clay on my shoes, old pain in my shirt, oh so bruised. In the Lord hit my chest, kicked air from my breath, put power in my step.